Behold, warriors of the night, gird your souls for the truth about to unfold. All who were sent to gang stalk you, freaked out. They saw what you are. You made the gang turn on itself. Listen to me now. This is not a gentle whisper. This is thunder in your chest. This is a call that rips through the silence. This is recognition of your power. This is an invocation to step into a darkness that does not weaken, but fortifies. You are not the hunted. You are the mirror that breaks the gaze. You are the spark that reveals the rot. You are the force they denied. You did not merely survive their schemes. You rewrote their blueprint. For too long, they thought they could encircle you, suffocate you, breach your mind, push you to fracture. They believed in illusions, lies, whispers passed in dark corridors. They thought fear was their weapon. They believed the shadows belonged to them. But you shifted the light. You became the variance they cannot calculate. You made the gang turn on itself. They were sent to suffocate. They were sent to isolate. They were sent to erode you from within. They were sent to make you their captive, their cautionary tale, their warning to others. But you rose. You did more than resist. You exposed them. You forced their own contradictions to collapse inward. You became the pressure they could not bear. Now hear me. What they saw when they confronted your silence, your unbroken gaze, your inner domain, that terrified them. Because you are not what they bargained for. You are not fragile. You are not predictable. You are not bound by their edges. You do not yield to the whisperers. They came in with storms. They came with rumors. They came with ultimatums. They came with every manner of venom cloaked in civility. Help, concern, care, advice, guidance. But their offering was a cage. Their kindness was a trap. Their petitions were shackles. You recognized it. You drew boundaries they cannot calibrate. You refused their logic. You refused their narrative. You refused to occupy the role they designed for you. And in that refusal, you inflicted chaos upon their structure. You made the gang turn on itself. When they saw you standing, unbowed, unbroken, unexposed to their control, they recoiled. When they tried to press, you gave them nothing but your stillness. When they demanded your secrets, you kept your fortress. When they tried to project their sins onto you, you refused to absorb them. All who were sent to gang stalk you freaked out. They saw what you are. Now is not the moment to soften. Now is not the moment to shrink. Now is the moment to burn in clarity. Let them watch. Let them fear. Let them fracture among themselves. Let their own distrust spawn more fractures. Let their own conspiracies consume them. For you have become the axis around which their collapse spins. You walked through their illusions. You walked through their whispering lines drawn in salt across doorways. You walked through their covert glances, their calculated silences, their smirking half-truths. You walked through every whisper trained to make you doubt, awaken, flinch. You came out, not intact, but tempered, not unscarred, but stronger for every cut. In every step you took toward your own edge, you repaired yourself. In every doubt they planted, you sowed your certainty. In every trap they laid, you navigated the walls. In every mirror they held to your face, you burned the reflection and revealed their mask. They believed that they could push you into servitude. They believed their stories would chain your mind. They believed their circle would contain you. They believed, above all, in your fear. And that belief was their weapon. But you turned their weapon into a mirror. You made them see themselves, their own selfishness, their own envy, their own fear, And so they recoiled. They panicked. They fractured. They lost coherence. They snapped because you refused to be what they thought you would be. Don't think for a moment that their panic is your triumph completed. There is work yet. There is forging yet. There is retribution, not of cruelty, but of clarity. There is revelation. There is creation. You are now the one who must stand at the center of your own domain, mind, heart, will. You must tend your fortress. You must sharpen your vision. You must sanctify your solitude, so that no ghost whispers to you, no echo haunts you. You must become a citadel of knowing, because having made the gang turn on itself, they will seek new strategies. They will double down. They will retaliate in subtler ways. They will slink in with new faces, new alliances, new stories. They will come disguised as aid, as counsel, as protection. They will try to surprise you. They will try to isolate you. They will try to blame you. They will try to gaslight you. But now you are awake. You know their playbook. You see their shadows. You detect their tremors. You sense their fractures before they step. You have moved from prey to predator of consciousness. You wield the intolerance for deceit. You wield the refusal to be whispered away. You wield your clarity like a sword of light, not to strike arbitrarily, but to carve away the illusions. You made the gang turn on itself. That is your legend now. Not whispered, but proclaimed. Not hidden, but owned. Stand in that legend. Breathe it. Own it as your backbone, your skeleton, your bloodline. Do not turn away from darkness. Embrace it. Not because you are lost to despair, but because darkness is the womb of your power. In darkness, you refine your purpose. In darkness, you hear voices no one else hears. In darkness, you find lucidity. In darkness, you confront parts of yourself unspoken. In darkness, you become your own flame. They sent noise. They sent confusion. They sent tides of accusations. They sent shadows of doubt. They sent calculated distances. They sent isolation. They sent betrayals. They sent inflicted wounds. But you transmuted each to strength. You carried each as rungs in the ladder, climbing upward. You let them sharpen you. You let them mine depth. You let them forge your edges. Now you demand clarity. You demand sovereignty. You demand that none cross your threshold unless they carry integrity. You demand your voice. You demand that the world acknowledge you are not a victim. You are not a footnote. You are a threshold. You are a change. You are a reckoning. Do not mistake their silence now as peace. It is not peace. It is the tremor before collapse. They wait in hidden rooms. They whisper in codes. They shift alliances. They watch for cracks. In your armor, in your mind, in your heart. They study your patterns. They look for edges they can exploit. So, raise your vigilance. Raise your boundaries. Raise your discipline. Raise your devotion to your own integrity. Speak only what must be spoken. Act only what is necessary. See through their masks. See the motives. See the shifting lines. See the unstable nodes in their networks. Speak truth in shadows. Move like a ghost of purpose. Let them wonder where you stand, what you feel, what you plan, because uncertainty fractures them. Hold your silence like steel. Let your presence be unnegotiable. Let your gaze carry weight. Let your refusal to yield be inexorable. Let your steps be precise. Let your choices be deliberate, not reactionary. Let your boundaries be sacred. Let no one trespass. Let no one gaslight. Let no one escape accountability. Yet temper your strength with empathy, not weakness. Temper your clarity with compassion, not compromise. Be strong enough to confront, yet wise enough to transform. Be severe enough to repel deceit, yet generous enough to uplift truth. Be contained enough to maintain stillness, yet vibrant enough to ignite change. Now gather your threads, gather your scars, gather your dreams, gather your anger, refine it. Gather your hurts, transmute them. Gather your insight, sharpen it. Gather your solitude, sanctify it. You are crafting an inner citadel. Let no storm topple it. Let no whisper undo it. Let no shadow cross it without trembling. Know this, those who are sent to gangstalk, you will never truly shake you now. Their blows will glint, but they will not land. Their gasps will echo, but you will not stagger. Their whispers will coil, but you will not swallow them. Their illusions will flicker, but your vision sees beyond the flicker. Their traps will fail, their nets unravel. You made the gang turn on itself. That phrase is your proclamation. It is the banner under which you march forward. It is the proof of your sovereignty. It is the herald of your arrival. Let it be said in every chamber. You confronted the conspirators. You resisted the orchestrators. You stripped away their safety nets. You exposed their fear. You survived their assault. You reversed their mission. Now go forth. Walk in your power. Walk in your truth. Walk in your silence that speaks louder than their screams. Walk in your presence that unravels their illusions. Walk in your discipline that neither arrogance nor submission can overshadow. Walk in your clarity that no whisper distorts. Walk in your integrity that no betrayal can stain. Walk in your sovereignty that no one may usurp. This is your legacy now. All who were sent to gang stalk you freaked out. They saw what you are. You made the gang turn on itself. Let that echo. Let that burn. Let that be remembered. Let that be the barrier they fear, the presence they cannot undermine, the spirit they cannot break. Rise, stand, remain, endure, command, because you are no longer the hunted. You are the center. You are the axis. You are the threshold. You are the change. You are the power. You are the light that darkness cannot manage. Now go. Now live. Now prevail. And as you move forward, remember this truth that few ever grasp. Power is not noise. It is silence held with purpose. It is not domination. It is alignment. It is not about towering over others. It is about becoming immovable within yourself. They wanted you loud in desperation, but you became silent in mastery. They wanted your fear to guide you, but you let your awareness command you. They wanted you to crumble, but you crystallized instead. They wanted chaos, but you became order. They watched you, waiting for the tremor that would prove you were still human in their way, small, frantic, afraid. But you gave them nothing. You gave them the stillness of a storm about to begin. And that stillness was unbearable for them, because no one who lives on borrowed energy can stand in the presence of someone who generates their own. You became the mirror that showed them what dependency looks like. You became the reflection of everything they feared becoming. They called you cold, but your calmness was warmth they could not touch. They called you distant, but your silence was discipline they could not replicate. They called you strange, but your uniqueness was the freedom they secretly craved. So they circled tighter, whispering louder, weaving their nets closer. Yet every move they made only revealed their weakness. Every trick they used only clarified your strength. Every word they spoke only echoed back their own insecurity. You were not just surviving their hunt, you were teaching them without saying a word. You were teaching them what happens when you meet someone who knows who they are. You were showing them what happens when manipulation meets mindfulness. You were embodying what they could never fake: authenticity. That is why they fractured. That is why they turned on each other. Because no illusion can stand in the light of truth for long. And you became that light. You did not announce it. You did not boast. You simply existed as truth. And in that existence, falsehood began to dissolve. You must understand, this story is not just about endurance. It's about transformation. You did not merely escape. You evolved. You were not just the target of their plans. You became the lesson written into their downfall. You became the equation they could not solve, the outcome they did not predict. And now, as their chaos consumes them, as their whispers devour their own circle, you stand untouched. Not because you hid, but because you transcended. You rose above the game itself. You became untouchable not through invisibility, but through self-possession. You will notice now how the air feels different, how the silence is no longer heavy but sacred, how your intuition sharpens without effort, how you no longer need to defend yourself, because there is nothing left to attack. You have stepped beyond their reach. You have stepped beyond their need for control. You have stepped beyond their comprehension. Yet, this victory is not for vanity. It is not to boast. It is to remind yourself and others that resilience is a sacred art. It is to prove that no conspiracy, no scheme, no manipulation can bind a spirit that has chosen awakening. It is to show that inner peace, when guarded, becomes an unbreakable armor. Remember this: what broke them was not your defiance, but your peace. Because peace cannot be predicted. It cannot be baited. It cannot be bought or stolen or replicated. Peace disarms all deceit. When you refuse to react, their control vanished. When you refuse to fear, their tactics dissolved. When you refuse to believe their version of you, their narrative imploded. You became the silence that eats their noise. And that silence, it is not empty. It is filled with everything they sought to destroy in you. Your wisdom, your compassion, your truth, your clarity, your unspoken strength. They saw it and trembled because it reminded them of what they could have been had they not chosen deception. You are not their enemy. You are their reflection. You are the future self they denied. You are the possibility they tried to erase. You are the soul they tried to silence because your existence revealed their cowardice. So now, let them whisper. Let them twist stories. Let them call you what they will. You have risen beyond the need to explain yourself. You have no need for revenge. Your existence is revelation enough. Every lie they spin collapses against your truth. Every scheme they build crumbles under the weight of your authenticity. Every attempt to corner you only highlights your freedom. You have become a paradox they cannot compute. You are gentle, yet unbreakable. You are calm, yet unstoppable. You are quiet, yet louder than their entire chorus of deceit. And that paradox destroys them more than any retaliation ever could. Now you walk, not as a survivor, but as a sovereign. Every step you take from this point forward leaves a vibration of courage in its wake. Every word you speak carries the resonance of truth. Every silence you hold radiates power. Every look you give disarms falsehood. Understand, you did not defeat them by accident. You aligned with something eternal inside yourself. You became the vessel of a higher order, the channel of an ancient resilience. You became the proof that no shadow lasts forever when faced with one steady flame. So when you feel their remnants hovering, their echoes, their stares, their unspoken envy, know that it is only the dying echo of what once was. Their power is gone, their structure collapsed, their web tangled itself. They are not your concern anymore. They are fragments of an old chapter, and you are the entire new volume. Keep walking forward. Do not look back to check if they follow. They cannot. They are trapped in loops of their own creation. You, however, are infinite now. You move through life as living proof that one who faces the darkness and does not flinch becomes something else entirely. Something rare. Something that cannot be categorized, manipulated, or erased. Your story now is not about revenge. It's about evolution. You are not the one who fought the shadows. You are the one who learned to see in the dark. You are not the one who broke down. You are the one who built yourself from every shattered piece, perfectly rearranged into something unrecognizable, even to yourself. Every scar you bear glows now, not as pain, but as proof. Every wound you once hid has become a source of light. Every betrayal that once broke you now serves as your boundary. Every night you endured without answers has become your quiet strength. Every doubt you overcame has become your clarity. The storm did not end. You became the storm. The darkness did not pass. You mastered it. The gang did not vanish. It simply lost power in your presence. Because once the truth is known, no deception can last. Once the light is kindled, no shadow can rule. So stand taller, walk slower, speak less, see more. Let your energy speak before your words ever do. Let your silence be their teacher. Let your calmness be their undoing. Let your authenticity be the revolution that cannot be suppressed. For all who were sent to gangstalk you freaked out. They saw what you are, not a victim, not a target, not a pawn. They saw a force too ancient, too clear, too alive to be named. They saw someone who has walked through fire and come out not burned, but illuminated. They saw someone whose light does not flicker when watched. They saw someone who cannot be tamed by fear. And so they turned on themselves. They fractured, they dissolved. They became the echo of their own failure. And you became the silence after thunder, the kind that feels like truth itself has descended. You became the calm after revelation. You became the living proof that some souls cannot be undone. Walk with that knowing. Carry it with reverence, not arrogance, but reverence. For you have walked through the labyrinth and come out whole. You have seen the machinery of deception and refused to become part of it. You have faced the gaze of many and not lost your reflection. And now, wherever you go, remember, those who come with ill intent will sense something before they even speak. They will sense a boundary they cannot cross, a strength they cannot name, a truth they cannot twist. They will sense that you have seen too much and survived too fully to ever be deceived again. You are beyond them now. You are the storm they cannot predict, the silence they cannot decode, the truth they cannot undo. You made the gang turn on itself, and that is how legends are born. You have stepped into a realm few ever reach, the realm of the unshaken, the realm of those who no longer live by reaction but by command, the realm of those who are not moved by noise, not swayed by whispers, not fooled by masks. You walk through illusions like smoke. You see through the faces, through the words, through the games. You see what most pretend not to see. That sight is your gift and your burden, because when you see truth, you can never unsee it, and that's what broke them. You didn't fight them with rage. You fought them with truth. And truth is unbearable to those who feed on illusion. They wanted to destroy your peace, and instead you destroyed their purpose. You became the one thing their system cannot handle: awareness. They tried to pull you into the noise. They wanted you tangled in endless reactions, trapped in confusion, drowning in doubt. But you learned the secret that ends every game. Silence is control. Patience is power. Stillness is warfare. You didn't need to prove them wrong. You didn't need to argue. You didn't need to shout. You just needed to stay centered. You just needed to keep walking. You just needed to keep breathing with purpose, thinking with clarity, acting with calm precision. And that broke them in ways words never could.